Hi, I'm Angel Ortalaza,
And I'm Eric Minhares.
and we're your guide to your next fantasy football championship.
Yes, we are. Just letting you guys know, you stumbled onto something pretty awesome, alright? This is 15 minutes. We have a lot more episodes,
Right.
but it's going to change the next 16 weeks of your life and some.
Yeah, and this is going to be good information for you rookies out there starting fantasy football for your first time or your second year. This is going to help get your training wheels off. It's going to help you give you that kickstart that you need for your team.
Yeah, and then for experts, people that already like to, scour YouTube, other social media, we're going to bring a lot of info that's helpful for everybody.
Exactly.
Rookie, average, you have a couple of years already, you feel you know a lot, we like to talk a lot.
Yeah.
Football. So
For you experts, we're gonna give you like live player updates and all this information that you're gonna need to take your league to the next level. So
yeah, and we got 2 segments for you guys. All right, classic and classifieds, and red zone pursuit.
Yeah.
Angel, want to break it down for us?
So classic and classified. This is like the classic fundamentals that every fantasy player should know. If this is your first or second year playing, these are the do's and don'ts you should know. And then for you veterans, with classified, we'll give you information that most experts won't tell you because they want to keep their edge on their own leagues. So in this case, this is what you need. This is your key to be one step ahead of everyone else in your league.
Yeah, and we have red zone pursuit for you guys. We're gonna give you detailed updates on players. Who to look out for, who to avoid, how to maximize your points for your team because these things add up for your wins and your seasons and your championships.
Yeah, this can make the difference. And our promise to you is to never hold back any information for the sake of our own leagues to try to advance. We don't want to give too much of information. We're not going to do that.
It's pretty hard for us. It's pretty hard, but we agreed on it. We're going to do it.
Yeah, so without further ado, welcome to Fantasy Football Red Zone.
Boom!
There you go. There you go.
Right.
So, classic and classified. One of the things that we want to start off with is classic information. You should always check your league scoring settings. Like, that's a given. Like, you guys, so many people take time to check the draft boards and everything, but they don't even check their league scoring settings. Listen, if in Yahoo the default for QB on a touchdown is like 4 points, some leagues have them at 6. Some leagues give quarterbacks points per completions. There's
negative points
for incompletions, all that stuff. There's all different types of tweaks and customizations that your leagues may be doing. So look at your scoring settings. So that'll give you an idea of which position, like a quarterback, a running back, a wide receiver, who should you go for first?
2 quarterbacks, how many receiver slots,
all that
if
stuff.
You have a flex, I've been in leagues where there's no flex spots.
Yeah,
so.
And on the flex spot, some leagues don't even allow running backs. They only do wide receiver, tight end. Like it should have everything there. All right. So check your scoring and settings, and then that should give you an indicator of how you're going to be drafting.
And then there's requirements, right?
Yeah. So draft requirements, it's pretty cool. I like this a lot because a lot of people don't realize that their league doesn't have a draft requirement. Check your leagues and find out, because what we mean is in your draft, are you required to draft a kicker, a defense? A lot of leagues don't regulate this, especially like work leagues. They tend to be a little looser, not as strict.
People don't even know that you don't even have to have that sometimes.
Exactly. And our message to you is if your league doesn't have a draft requirement, don't pick a kicker. Don't be that guy drafting a kicker in the 9th round just to even out your team and all that stuff.
Saying Gostowski's good, but he's not that good. Get the talent instead.
Yeah. So we want you to stock up in other positions and make sure that you're not drafting certain positions like a kicker and defense just to fill in your team and just so that by the end of the draft you have a player for every position. Like, no, after the draft, if you don't have a kicker and a defense, after the draft, when you have time to yourself, then focus in and see who you want to cut out of your team and add a kicker and do all that stuff. But stock up on what you need during the draft. So check draft requirements. You'd be surprised how many leagues don't have that draft requirement.
Yeah. So get the talent. Preseason, guys get hurt. You might have a starter that gets hurt.
Yep.
You want to have that extra player that's healthy to fill in for them. You make sure you get your defense and your kicker before the season starts. Start those guys for
exactly.
Sure. But up until then.
Absolutely. And then there's another piece of information that you want to be on the lookout for is or just your drafting order strategies. Like the classic type of mindset is like everybody wants that first, second, third pick, and it's like they want to be able to have that all-star. And while all that really means is that you're gonna have, if you have the first, second, third pick, you're gonna have an all-star. A lot of hype around this guy. You may have some trade talk going on because you have one of the all-stars. But that's all there is to it. If you got some guy in the middle of the pack, if you're like a number 6, number 7 in like in a 12-man league, you get to have a more balanced team, and you get to go ahead and draft guys and not have to worry so much about filling other positions or trading as much. You may be a quieter person during the season because you had a really balanced attack. And then lastly, this is my personal favorite. If you're dead last, like number 12 or right around there, like that's the best because you get to have two great guys early on, and then you get to as the rounds progress and you see who's taken. If you have that in mind about not drafting a kicker or a defense in like the 3rd or 4th round when it's your turn to go back to back again, you could really be stocking up on positions and getting some depth. And even if you already have a couple wide receivers, just seeing what talent's out there. If the wide receivers are not being drafted, go ahead and grab a couple more because you're going to be able to trade later on. So
yeah, just like it was interesting, it's easier structure when you're on the ends, in the middle, more balance. But how would you tackle the first 4 rounds?
So, I think we're going to go ahead and recommend running back, wide receiver, then maybe QB. So, a lot of people, again, going back to that, a lot of people draft a quarterback in the first round. And for the most part, I say that's a big mistake. Unless you're in one of those leagues where, again, you're checking your scoring settings and they have huge, it's geared towards the quarterback, like 6 points per touchdown, points per completions, all this other stuff. Then other than that, you shouldn't be drafting a quarterback in the first round. You can find so much talent in the 4th and 5th, and then look for in the 1st and 2nd those talented running backs that are hard to come by.
Yeah.
Stock up on those players because sometimes they're injury prone, and the quarterbacks you don't really have to worry about injuries as much as you would with the running backs.
Yeah, running backs definitely the more they get injured, there's not as many good running backs.
Yeah.
And you lose a lot, so you want to make sure even wide receivers.
There's a lot of wide receivers. You can wait on that. So
they're safer picks, but there's a lot towards the end that you can still pick.
So RB, wide receiver, QB. So with that in mind, then in the QB, so the only QB exceptions that we would make are Aaron Rodgers and Andrew Luck, and that would be in the 3rd round. Other than that, everyone else, you should go in the 4th round. Ben Roethlisberger, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Russell Wilson. But yeah, I mean, those are a couple key informations to get you on the right track, the do's and don'ts. But Eric, why don't you tell us about this Red Zone Pursuit? Concrete information.
Red Zone Pursuit, guys. Boom. So, first 5 picks, I want you guys to know, should be running backs.
Yep.
There's 5 super running backs that stand above the rest.
Right.
AP number 1, Eddie Lacy number 2, Le'Veon Bell, Jamal Charles, Adrian Peterson, guy's a beast.
Yeah.
He basically just took a long vacation. He didn't have last year off. He's still a freak. I mean, he came back from tearing up his knee, his leg.
Right.
Awesome season.
He's seen it all. The man has seen it all.
He just didn't play last year. Like, how bad is that going to be for him?
It's a vacation.
Yeah. He's just, he had time off. Le'Veon. Good offensive line.
He's in his 3rd year.
Good team. The guy can play.
He's going to bring the juice. This is his year.
Le'Veon Bell. He's missing 2 games, the first 2. So, he's still worth it.
Doesn't matter.
He's possibly the best player in the draft, in the league.
That guy's a monster.
For fantasy-wise. 4th, Marshawn Lynch, Mr. Consistent. That guy's been putting up numbers consistently. So, sometimes people have a hard time trusting running backs. That's the most trustable running back right there. Who's going to produce, stay healthy, always going to give you beast mode. And then Jamal Charles, guy's a beast. He's always good. He's probably going to miss a game or 2. That's kind of his habit. I
don't know about Jamal Charles. I mean, he's phenomenal. The past couple years, he's been really good. And he's getting old, but my more concern is just how long can he keep this performance up? This is past 2 seasons, even 3, he's been killing it. So is he gonna have another season just like that? What are
He's
the
still
odds?
good. He's still good.
He is.
As far as we know, this year's supposed to be good.
Yeah.
If we see any decline, we'll tell you next year.
So the thing is, though, Eric, these are the superstars. A lot of people know about this, and even if we have our opinion on these superstars, everyone has their personal favorites and who they want to go with. But what about the other guys that go in the later rounds, and even the coaching changes in the offseason? How is that going to affect some of these other guys that are around the league?
Big time, big time. Something people don't pay attention to is coaches. Coaches change. They're the ones that make the calls.
Exactly.
They're the play callers. So they're trying to outsmart each other, and they're playing chess with their team. So it's important to pay attention to that. For instance, let's go Forte. Forte, you can still get him late first round, early second round. He had Mark Trestman last year, helped him get his running backs average about 100 catches a season.
Yeah.
If you have a PPR league where it's half a point, or let's say a full point, that's 100 points.
Yeah.
In a full point league, just for having him, without even running.
Yep.
So
exactly.
That's a good pickup right there. Letting you guys know. But wait.
He's with John Fox now, Forte.
Yes.
So
he's with John Fox now. John Fox won't pass the ball as much, but they wouldn't run the ball a lot more than they did last year. So that's kind of offset. So what happened to Trestman?
Mark Trestman, yeah, where did he go? And then
so he went to the Ravens. Yeah. So now who has him? Forsett. You can still get him in the late second, maybe sometimes early third. Just kind of nuts.
That guy's gonna be good.
If he gets 100 catches, you're looking at a good second round, your second pick running back. That's a great value, especially PPR.
Yeah.
They're also keeping the run blocking scheme that helped them stay successful.
Right.
From Gary Kubiak. Where did that guy go? That guy went to the Broncos.
Yeah, that's right.
So
C.J. Anderson.
Who was good last year? C.J. Anderson, beast. If you had him, you picked him up. Awesome. Like I killed it. Also, the Broncos are going to run a lot more this year than they did last year.
Yeah.
More so to help Peyton Manning stay fresh. But also, they're so successful running the ball.
Yeah.
Now with a guy who specializes in that.
Yeah.
More so, definitely CJ.
Yep.
Also recommend you handcuff Ronnie Hillman. That guy looks really good. And Gary Kubiak likes to do two running backs, but one gets about 90% of the load.
All right.
CJ.
So those are some of the coaching changes. What about what offensive lines are looking good this year? Because that's also going to affect your running backs, and it's going to tell you who's going to have those guys to block for them.
It changes sometimes often, but for the most part, what we know of our research is the Dallas Cowboys.
Of course.
Still good.
No surprise there.
Look out for Joseph Randle. Around third round. He's around right there. If you pick anything else in other rounds.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. Like, really quick with Joseph Randle. DeMarco Murray, he was so good last year, and I'm not trying to discredit him, but that offensive line, it created wonders for him, and, it opened up those lanes. So there's a handful of backs that can replace Murray behind that offensive line and still be successful.
It made me believe, man. Made me believe I can do it almost.
Yeah, so Joseph Randle, I think he's going to be the guy, like right behind, Justin Forsett, what he did after Ray Rice was gone. I think Joseph Randle's going to be all right.
Forsett also has the next best offensive line.
Yeah.
There's the Packers, there's the Patriots, there's the Broncos. So we'll see how those guys stay. We'll keep you guys updated on those. But for the most part, if you have a hard time picking between two players, pick the one
with the better offensive line. That's right. And then what about the QBs?
The QBs.
The QB rounds.
So third round, Luck and Rodgers, depending on the settings. Points, you want to focus, make sure you know that. When we say fourth, fifth rounds, you got Russell Wilson, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, and Big Ben.
I like Big Ben. I think this is his year. He's going to do really well. He did really well last year, but I think this year he's really going to be consistent.
He's got a lot of options.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of options. So yeah, guys. So, just to let you guys know, we're going to have another segment coming up, the script, when the regular season starts. So, that's going to help you trade, help you sell players, help you buy players. And
that's going to be key because trading, as long as your league is active, is going to be a huge deal. How to package those trades so that you have a lot of value in your guys and making roster adjustments that you need to with injuries and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Then you're also going to be hearing later on how to structure your team in the later rounds and who to look out for. There's a lot of guys we haven't talked about. Frank Gore, throwing some names out there, but in the later rounds, we keep looking out for that. And
we got a rookie video we're going to be releasing.
That's right.
Learn the lingos, learn how to use tools, just how to structure your team. It's just like a lot of the basics. If you don't know, check it out. If you already know, make sure you didn't miss anything. So
Yeah. All right. So, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to email us at fantasyfootballrz@gmail.com.
you can also follow us on Twitter,
Yep.
FF Redzone 15.
FF Redzone 15 and YouTube. If you guys want to subscribe, you're obviously watching this already, so just hit that subscribe button and make sure to stay tuned for more information. Fantasy Football Red Zone, the YouTube channel we've all been waiting for, with all the information you need.
Football's back, baby.